Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I have another 1-64 unboxing and review video for you guys. And today I've got a car that might confuse a few people because what I have is Mortal's take on the Bugatti Veyron 16.4 SuperSport no, not quite so super. What we have here is actually a Veyron Grand Sport. So let's actually look at the differences between the advertised car as we have it and the actual car that we got, which is actually a Grand Sport. So let's just dive right in. And starting off with the presentation itself, we've got this really nice black and orange box, which is the same color as the car, of course, and it just says Bugatti Mortal Models. And we've got a really nice clear view from the top, the side, as well as the front and the rear of the car. And of course, in bold letters on the front, it says Bugatti 2010, Bugatti with 1T, Veyron 16.4, not quite super sport. So let's actually see the car we were supposed to get and the car that we actually got. So let's crack it open. And of course, with the issue out the way, what we have here is an extremely dramatic looking car coming right out of this box over here. Wow, that looks absolutely spectacular. We've got a beautiful clear acrylic case over here, and the bottom is also completely clear, and I can already see a little bit of details on the bottom of this car. And a very loose case, which sometimes happens, but we've got an extremely beautiful looking car over here. So starting off with the plinth, it says 164 Mortal Bugatti 2010 Bugatti Veyron 16.4 Super Sport limited edition 126 of 599. But of course, as mentioned before, this is actually a Grand Sport. And to be honest, Mortal does actually offer a Super Sport variant of the Veyron. However, that one comes in a different color, and this orange one, of course, is the Grand Sport. And well, you ask, how can you tell? Well, the dead giveaway is this Targa style roof over here. So the Grand Sport features this like removable top, while of course the Super Sport just has a fixed coupe style roof. So obviously Mortal's got the label wrong, but to be honest, the details of this model actually match the Grand Sport really well. And of course, the Veyron Grand Sport was introduced in 2008 and produced until 2015, and it used the same 8-liter quad turbo W16 engine as the standard Veyron does. And that was pushing about 1,000 horsepower-ish, almost 987. So that's absolutely insane. With the roof on, it could still hit 407 kilometers an hour, but with the roof off, it was actually electronically limited to 360 kilometers an hour, which, by the way, still made it the fastest open-top car in the whole world at the time. So it was extremely fast, although still not quite as fast as the Super Sport variant, which we have an image of right over here. So of course, this is what was advertised to us, and this in fact is actually a Veyron Super Sport. So you can see it's got totally different style front end bumpers, and you can see that the roof also looks different. Well, you can't see it from this angle too well, but it is in fact quite a lot different. And of course, the real Super Sport, which this model is labeled as, was a completely different beast from the other variant. Only 48 of this car was ever made, and it pushed out 1200 PS, which is absolutely insane. It hit 0 to 100 in just 2.5 seconds, and of course it set a world record with a top speed of 431. So quite a big power update. Except I must tell you a sad reality about this. Mortal once again has made a slight error in the fact that to make things more confusing, this image that I've been describing to you is actually not in reality a Super Sport. This is what's called a Grand Sport Vitesse. And The Grand Sport Vitesse has the same 1200 horsepower as the SuperSport, so it's like almost the same car, except it does have the removable roof. So it combines the power of the SuperSport and the removable roof of the Grand Sport. And it was pretty much the fastest convertible, even faster than the normal Grand Sport was. But again, not what this model is all about. And I've also got a 118 version of it. This is my son's car, so excuse the state, but you can see it's got the front end of the SuperSport. It's almost exactly identical to the SuperSport, and yeah, sorry about the stickers, but you can see this line heading from the A pillar all the way to the top, and this would be the removable top. So in fact, this is actually the Grand Sport Vitesse, and this one even says Vitesse, and you can tell by the shape of the rear exhaust as well. So this one's square and this one's got like a very long style exhaust. So yeah, lots of confusion going on. So it was great for Mortal to include that car and include this picture, but anyways, what we got is a Grand Sport. So with all of that out of the way, let's actually jump into this car itself. So straight away, you can see what an incredible paint finish this car has. So we've got this really vivid looking orange. It's not got any kind of specular color to it. It's kind of a like solid color orange with not much depth, but what we have is a huge amount of light lines, and we've got a really beautiful lacquer on this car, and it really helps to accentuate all the lines of the car. So you can just see all those light lines hitting off all the different surfaces of this car. You can see in the front fender as well as I move along, and in this front like boot area as well. And the overall look of the car looks really awesome. I like this contrast of this black and orange. It gives it a very menacing looking style with these black wheels and all the black intakes as well, I think. So starting off with the roof, you can see we've got this really beautiful looking panoramic glass in the top. And of course, this part over here up to that sort of cut line is where the car's roof is actually removable. So we've still got some solid pieces over there, and you can see it's got a little bit of like an indentation just to help channel the air into these huge air intakes over there to help cool this colossal engine. And this car actually had this removable roof, and that means they had to add structural reinforcements to the car because of the rigidity that was lost from removing this roof panel. So of course, even with this panoramic roof, it had a really dramatic driving experience, but you could be even more dramatic by taking the roof off and having that completely open air style experience in such an extremely fast car. And you can see so much detail that we have going on the inside as well. So you can see we've got these beautiful gray seats with a lot of detailing. We've got all the little stitching and like blisters and bolstering on the seats. And we've even got like the center cubby area, as well as this crazy looking center console. You can see it's got quite a lot of three-dimensionality in this kind of diamond sort of texture in the center. And we've even got the gear shifter, and then a beautiful interior over there with all the gauges and everything like that colored in the silver. And then we've also got the steering wheel with the EB logo in the center. So really a lot of attention to detail has been paid even on the interior. And of course you would want that because you can see quite well onto the interior of this car. So really beautifully made by Mortal. And we've got these really cool two-tone seats, which I really love. It helps to carry that black color all the way through from the outside onto the interior. And even the door cards on the side, you can see have the same gray and black motif continuing throughout. And that's really awesome. And of course, jumping into this insane looking engine bay, you can see once again this W16 engine over there just completely exposed, and it looks really exquisite. And then we've got these like black finished off air intakes. Of course, One nice thing about the SuperSport variant of this Mortal is that you can actually remove this entire back piece. So unfortunately, I don't think that this one can be removed, but we'll see if there is anything that we could possibly do with it once we take it off the plinth. And now continuing through this black motif, of course the panoramic roof becomes the front windscreen, and the light lines really continue very well, and then some windscreen wipers, and then we head into the front of the car. So the paint finish is extremely exquisite, and you can see that little center line is three-dimensional as well, and you can actually see it quite clearly. And then we come to the front of the car. So we've got these really nice front headlights and a lot of three-dimensionality in them, and they look quite realistic, to be honest. It's even got little black inserts over there. And then we've got the front grille, once again with a lot of three-dimensionality, just finished off in this black. And then we of course have this Bugatti logo in the center. And then we've got these two side intakes as well, once again with this perforated looking finish. And another difference is you can see it's got this rounded off air intake, and you can see that on the SuperSport we've actually got this more dynamic looking air intake where the front fender line kind of runs down and indexes into the front over here. And we've also got this little separator in the middle, and we've also got this little black cutout area here as well. So quite a lot of differences that you can see straight away, of course. So that's another little thing to note. And of course you can also see that it doesn't have any like black lip on the bottom or anything like that. And now coming to the wheels, we've got these beautiful looking split 5 spokes finished off in this extremely high gloss black. And you can see just behind it we've got these ventilated discs, as well as the brake calipers just finished off in red. So extremely beautiful attention to detail. And then we come to the side of the car. So we've got really nice looking split lines for the door itself, and the rear view mirror actually has reflection in there as well. And then we've got this beautiful typical Veyron style DLO on the side, and just behind that we have this extremely beautiful and very like finessed looking fuel filler cap that actually has the EB logo etched into it, as well as those little like fuel filler cap bolts kind of that run around the edge of the fuel filler. So extremely good detail. Now we come to this massive side intake on the car, and you can see how beautiful it is. It's very typical of the Veyron that it starts off in the front and follows the bonnet of the car and goes all the way down the belt line just underneath the window over here, and then kind of swoops back and leads all the way to the front of the car and actually indexes all the way onto that line, and that actually ends up meeting at the front of the car where the front actually opens. So it's a really beautiful kind of swooshing line that runs around the car, and that of course makes up the intake. And of course we also have quite a lot of three-dimensionality of this intake as well, and it's just finished off in this like matte black color, although you can see there that the paint doesn't actually go all the way up to the top. So I think it's kind of difficult to actually get in there with the paint, but that should go almost all the way up there. But it is nice to have that kind of three-dimensionality. And then we've just got this rear split line as well. And we've also got this front air outlet, which obviously channels air out from behind the wheels. And it's not perforated through, and it's also not finished off in black or anything. So it's just a kind of simplistic looking kind of air outlet. And one thing that I noticed as well, which is kind of strange in relation to the modeling itself, is you can actually see that the side skirt is a little bit lower than the front bumper. And that's kind of annoying to me as a designer, because it should actually be pretty much the same level, but you can see it's a little bit higher on the front bumper. I'm not sure how that could be corrected, perhaps putting like a lip on the bottom here or something like that just to balance it out. But it's one of those small errors that pretty much would never be noticed. And of course, once you've got the car at an angle, it's completely not noticeable. But for me, I can totally tell, which is a bit of a shame, but it's one of those little things that happens. And then we come to the rear wheels. Once again, same design as the front, and it's a little bit a deeper sort of like a center hub over there, so it's got quite a lot of nice three-dimensionality. And now heading towards the rear, we've got the rear reflectors on the side there. No separate piece or anything like that. It's just a little painted part of the body of the car itself. And now coming to the rear of the car, we've got this really beautiful EB logo finished off in chrome in the center. And we also have this typical quad round style tail lights of the Veyron. And these ones are actually just finished off in this like clear sort of color. And that really, really looks insane, especially up against this high gloss black. It gives a lot of contrast, and it has a lot of three-dimensionality in those lights as well. And in the center, we've got a really nice looking Bugatti plate. And then on the side, just these perforated three-dimensional air outlets as well. In the center, we've got this square-shaped exhaust. It's not very deep, but it is finished off in black. And then, of course, we've got this insanely massive diffuser in the center as well. And, of course, on the other side, it's pretty much the same as the first one. So let's actually get this car off this plinth and take a better look at it. Now I've removed the car off its base, and I can show you that the wheels rotate really well on this car, and you can see that the brakes themselves don't rotate, but you can see how nicely we can see that perforated disc in the back, and it's the same case on the rear as well. And then you can see on the bottom we've just got some like NACA style ducts and this huge diffuser, of course, going from quite far in the in front of the rear wheels actually, so quite a significantly long rear diffuser. And let's have a look at this rear section over here. You can see that we've got this pretty deep looking split line by the wing. So as I mentioned before, the SuperSport, you can actually remove this rear cover. However, I was kind of prodding and poking now, and I couldn't actually take it off, and there is no hidden button or anything like that to take it off or to pop the wing open. But I am happy to report that I did try the manual method, which is with a blade, and you've got to be extremely careful because it's like a really finessed kind of job. But there you have it. That is so insane. So you can actually pop the wing up, and you can see the whole like exhaust kind of system and cooling in the rear over there. And I love that we've got that three-dimensionality, and you can see the wing of the Veyron's actually popped up now, and it's actually got like this double style wing. So of course there we have it, the Grand Sport in all its glory with the wing up as well. And I really love the fact that they've added so much detail to this Mortal model. I think what an incredible job they've done. Very, very awesome. And now under this dynamic lighting, you can see how beautiful and exquisite this model really is. The way the light lines hit off all the different surfaces, the quality of the paint, and all the amazing detail that we've got in this car, from the interior to the engine bay to all the little the lights, and even the the perforated discs, and everything that goes on in this tiny little scale is absolutely incredible. And at such a low price point, the car is set around 22 to 26-ish pounds, depending on where you pick it up from. I think it's absolutely incredible value for money. So while the label might not be accurate, this Mortal Veyron is still a really nice take on this open top Grand Sport. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you rather have this wind in your hair experience of the Grand Sport, or the crazy speed demon SuperSport variant? And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Ciao.